Hello. Hi. Oh, sorry, I wasn't chatting. I honestly, I I put the YouTube chat away from my screen, and I didn't realize that until now. So, sorry about that. Yeah. Well, thank you for dropping by. Um, I don't know if you're still here, subject number X. Thank you for the nice comments. I was really focused. I'm doing a rare painting in the sense that I don't really do these paintings that often, and every brush stroke has to be manually put in, and so they usually take a lot of time and hours. So yeah, I was quite apologies for that. I wasn't really focusing on the chat. Yeah, it is. When you see all the brush strokes swirl around, it's rewarding, but it's a lot of tiny little strokes, repetitive. Hello, Morgan. Thank you, thank you. This type of painting style I never really do. I don't even offer it for commissions anymore because it takes too much time. It's very difficult because it's very much one of those ones that you just have to push forward because it has its ugly faces. And while I'm not currently happy with the state of the piece currently because I'm not done with it, it's hard to push through and be like, I know it'll be great. It's not if I keep working on it. So right now I have to finish adding the brush strokes in, and then I can go over the line work and then add more painting on top of that, along with effects and textures because it's missing some texture overlays which go on last. Now I just feel a little bit silly. I didn't really think anyone was watching. The stream layout is a little bit complicated for me sometimes, so I didn't even notice that the chat box was missing until I suddenly looked for a message that just popped up. Oh, thanks. Thanks for still being here. Sorry I didn't get to you earlier. Yes, thank you for the nice comments. I I've been on the internet for quite a long time. I have one fan that has followed me since my DeviantArt days, and that's fucking wild to me. I can say I've come a long way in both illustration and painting. Backgrounds are very difficult. I find backgrounds to be underappreciated and more difficult than characters. And I'm saying this as a character artist, or primarily character artist or character designer. There's just so much more work that goes into making a background. Not only just the coloring, but also like the structure, architecture, making sure it makes sense. I don't do backgrounds that often anymore. But when for example, in this piece where I have to actually draw the background, it is so hard and so time consuming to finish it. I mean, the character I finished was one of the first things I finished, and now it's just chipping away at this background. I feel like I'm doing like a sculpture or something. I don't know if I would dabble in VTubing. I did make a VTuber, or a 2D VTuber for my friend. But for like the really fancy ones that look like 3D models, I don't know if I would ever do that, in the sense that I would have to like teach myself how to do one, because it requires a lot of layers and specific way of building one, so someone else can rig it, or rig it myself. And I find that VTube prices are very competitive, and I don't know if it would be entirely worth it for me to do that. Because a VTube model, I've seen some people charge really cheap prices for one, and the amount of work that goes into making one, I would not charge anything less than like $1,000, honestly. I would make a 2D VTuber for myself. If I streamed more often, I made one for my friend because she streams often, but I didn't make one for myself. Oh yeah, thank you, Morgan. That's one of my favorite animations that I've done. I wish I could have finished it, I just didn't have the time for it anymore. But my Alistair animation required me to use my knowledge of 3D backgrounds because I wanted to focus mostly on the character animation for that one. That was the character animation practice for general portfolio work. So I didn't have enough time to spend on the background. So using my 3D modeling, compositing skills, because I did not actually like 3D model that from scratch. I mostly just mashed things together until it looks like a set. And then I filmed my shots ahead of time to match them to the 3D model backgrounds, which is pretty common in storyboarding and when you're trying to take shortcuts, because being a storyboard artist is super hard. You gotta juggle a bunch of things. You don't have time to always draw your backgrounds. And I do recommend anyone who is working with that kind of stuff to learn how to use 3D backgrounds. It could help you a lot. And I guess it depends on how far you're going to go in the career or industry you're working on, and if you really want to get sufficient with backgrounds, or if you just want basic knowledge with them. You can rely heavily on 3D backgrounds, or you can sort of already know how to draw backgrounds but then use 3D backgrounds as a shortcut to save you some time. Yeah, no problem. Same. I didn't really like know what I was doing when I first started drawing. I just know I just started drawing, and then YouTube. I mean, YouTube was sort of a baby back then when I was learning. Now there's so many tutorials for everything. It's awesome. I love it. I 100% support self-taught artists, and you can pretty much learn how to do anything yourself. And now a bunch of professionals are teaching like really affordable classes. Like I've signed up for a bunch of storyboarding classes for anywhere from $50 to $100 each, which is pretty cheap. I mean, it's cheaper than going to art school. I don't know. Most people who went to art school always say like don't go to art school, but it's hard because a lot of those people went to like schools like Cal Arts, and you're not really going for an education for Cal Arts. You're going for the connections, because there's a lot of networking when it comes to those kind of stuff. But if you're just going to a random art school in the middle of nowhere, I definitely would say that's not worth it. Especially if you're going to be in debt for the rest of your life, that's not great. But I also don't agree that you have to pay a shit ton of money just to have like networking experience, because you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars at this point, and that's pretty shitty. That's just like, oh, I only went to school so I can meet this person for future job. I don't know. I feel like skill should matter more in that kind of sense. Yeah, art is really hard to make money on. 100% can talk from experience. If we're working freelancer for 3 years, now I'm going back to I work for studio now, but taking a little hiatus on freelancing because right now the industry is pretty bad with a bunch of layoffs and controversies, and the whole AR art thing now impacting people's jobs. Sort of. Yeah, a lot of people know me from my really old tutorials. So yeah, thank you for staying. Yeah, so I do cover pages for all of my big projects, and Helvin's my next big one. The covers always take me, I think Sheer Pill Popper was the one that was like the least time consuming, but all the other ones, yeah, it was hours, anywhere from I think 50 to 100 hours per cover of work. And I don't do them that often because it's just so much work for an illustration, and illustrations are not entirely my passion. I'd rather put that time into an animation compared to an illustration. Thank you, Morgan. Freelancing for 3 years. Yeah, I was working for Webtoons for a while, so that allowed me to work my freelance work, or work freelance for 3 years, managing Webtoons and managing some other small-time gigs. My roommate went to college for graphic design. I also thought I was going to go to college for graphic design because everyone who told me like, oh, you like to draw art, well, you should just go for graphic design. It'd be easier to get a job, blah, 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 blah. Eventually, I was just like, nah, I don't really care for graphic design. It's a lot different than illustration. So I was just like, if I'm gonna work really hard on this, I might as well just do something I enjoy. I'm not into the whole marriage and kids thing, so my career is where my life is majorly at. So right now I'm working 2 jobs basically, freelance on the side, and then my other studio job. Yeah, it's so freaking competitive now, and social media platforms are volatile, honestly. For example, my view count, like I used to be primarily on Tumblr. My view count on Tumblr before like the mass Tumblr exodus used to be, you know, average like 1,000 notes or views, I guess. But now it's brought all the way back down to under 500, so almost half. That sucks, but you know, it is what it is. And then trying to build yourself new on other social media platforms takes fucking forever, and now they just seem to care about shorts, so images are just super hard to get noticed, any sorts of traction, even for me, which I'm an old-time artist on here. It's still a struggle. I'm still just a little guy after all of these grueling years. I think I'm getting some more luck on Twitter. Instagram, I think, is the worst. Ever since they started prioritizing, I think they killed images on Instagram, which is kind of funny, but I cannot get any traction on Instagram, and there's no way to like retweet your work or reblog your work. So once you post it, that's it, and it gets like shoved down to the ether, and no one ever sees it. Because the same thing, like before the whole TikTok craze, my work on Instagram would get 500, you know, likes and stuff, and then after that it dropped all the way down to like 100. Yeah, that's basically it. You put so much work into social media into your work, and then all of a sudden the algorithm that was working for you changes, and then you're screwed, and no one really is able to view your work anymore. And that's happened to so many of us. That's why a lot of people quit social media or just focus on professional work, because professional work doesn't really matter on that. It matters basically on skill. So you just work on yourself and forget about social media, which is mostly what I'm doing. Like I use social media as a hobby to keep with fans and, you know, do commission work every now and then. But this cover is not made for social media. This cover is made for my portfolio, so that's why I'm putting so much work into it. Even if I know that once I post it, it's probably not going to get any views because it's a new property, nobody knows about it. I am prepared for that. I understand that. If you make stuff purely for views, you're gonna be disappointed when you're not gonna get those views, and it's gonna be really heartbreaking, and you're not gonna want to draw anymore. I see a lot of people get big on TikTok. I tried TikTok. I hated it. I just really don't like making video content like that. And I'm not that, I don't want to sound mean, but I'm not that low or in a desperate place, I guess, where I really need audience attention. So I'm not going to go on TikTok and have to put on the effort for make more social media content for views and promotion. I don't know, maybe sometime later, but for now I have no intention of doing that. I'd rather put effort into YouTube shorts. They're kind of easy for me to export. I heard that they're gonna start monetizing them, so that's great. And I feel like animation could make a comeback on YouTube Shorts, because YouTube killed animation like 10 years ago. Pretty much the only way you can make money off animation on YouTube is if you made those story time animation videos, but that was about it. I don't even mind the kids on TikTok. I stopped using TikTok because I found the algorithm too scary. And what I mean by that is, I have used many social media platforms in my life, but TikTok is just very frightening on how addictive it was and how it was able to predict it, like how to keep me interacting with the app, what I wanted to see, things that would make me upset in a weird way. Like, it kept listening to my conversations and showing me different types of ads related to that. I don't know, it was the creepiest, most invasive app I've ever had, and I did not really like that at all. And I wasted too much time on that app. It was too addicting, so I just deleted it, went cold turkey, and never went back. You both make a good point there, Morgan and Subject. I really hate that the kid content YouTube thingy, the whole advertisement censorship, that's ridiculous. That's honestly freaking ridiculous. And I don't understand why they're pushing so hard for YouTube to just be like this squeaky clean platform where no one can say a bad word, or God forbid the adpocalypse happens. I don't understand that. That's stupid. And yeah, second to that, the whole instant social media has really it ruined art in a way, and I mean that in like a nice way. Social media can be really good for art, but also horrible for mental health, and especially small-time artists who just can't find a footing, can't find the audience that they're looking for. And when I was younger, I went through all of that, the views and feeling shitty that I wasn't getting enough views. But the thing is that once you get those high views, because I was there for a while before before Tumblr freaking died with the whole ban on naughty material, it was never enough in the sense that, like, oh cool, this got 1,000 notes, I did it, and then the high would basically wear off instantly, and then you would be like, okay, now I have to look up for more and more and more. It never ends, and you're always chasing, and eventually it just becomes meaningless, and you're not really gratified anymore. I think building something that's more tangible, like a Patreon, would be a lot better, because then you're actually getting money for it. Or like an Etsy shop, or something that actually gives you some type of monetary value for your time and effort. Oh yeah, for sure. You have to, if you want to get big, definitely you're gonna have to make fan content a lot, follow trends. If you're not doing fan content, then definitely you're gonna have to follow trends, and that can be both good and bad. Good in the sense that if you're young, don't really know what you're doing in the future, fan content can be really fun. That's what I did. When you're older though, and you just want to make original content, and you just want to go your own path, that shit becomes super hard, because the point is, or the fact is that no one really cares about your characters, and you basically have to convince people to actually care about your story, and majority of people on the internet do not. I think when it comes, very addicting. Yeah, that's why I stopped using TikTok, and I control myself better with YouTube Shorts. The algorithm isn't so bad. I can stop when I feel like stopping. I couldn't do that with TikTok. I was watching. I haven't watched a lot of shows recently. I just haven't had the time, and I don't have. It's a couple things. First, the industry's. I feel very bad right now in a creative place, so there hasn't been a lot of good stuff in general. And I don't have the time as much as I did to sit down and watch shows. But the one show I am watching is Vox Machina, so that's great. I love the writing in that show. Aside from like the D&D connection, I'm not a huge Critical Role fan. I like D&D, but I'm not a huge Critical Role fan. But that show's amazing. I love the way it's written. I love that it had so much passion put into it. It's a refreshing breath of air from the normal corporate show that it has been pushed down our throats recently. Oh, thank you, Morgan. Oh, thank you. I'm not sure. I think that's broken on my stream. Oh, wow. Oh, thank you for the donation. See if I can fix the YouTube chat on there. I just noticed that it's broken. I haven't streamed in a long time. Wow, yeah. I haven't really been streaming recently. It's more just like I don't think a lot of people would watch my streams, so I just don't do it that often. But I guess people would watch more if I actually did them often, so I don't know. It's like a weird double-edged sword thing. Did that fix it? I don't know, I guess my YouTube thing is just broken on here. I'll just hide that, I guess, for now. Huh. Oh, okay. Thank you. I'll have to fix that later. Looks like my. There's a lot of. I'm not too familiar with streaming, so and things are a lot more complicated than when I used to stream. Back when I used to stream, you just did some speed paints or whatever, and that's it. Now there's so many bits and bobs. I enjoy doing fan content. It's just a fan content's not something I really enjoy doing. It kind of sucks. Yeah, I used to solely do fan content. I quit when I went to college because I realized that eventually you're gonna have to stop doing fan content to, blossom as an artist and, work on your own ideas and projects. It just kind of sucks because fan content is where the view's at. I mean, it's a lot easier to get your stuff noticed if you're just piggybacking off of someone else's work. And there's nothing wrong with that, but if you're trying to be more creative, it can suck. It can suck a lot when you're just like, I want to do something that hasn't been done before. I just don't want to draw, my favorite shows and whatnot. And it sucks more if you are not a fan of like the big popular shows, because big asterisk on that. You have to draw what's popular. If you like this little niche show that's not that popular, that doesn't have that many views, then well, same thing. People are not gonna really. Your stuff is not gonna get that much views as well. Oh, thank you. I haven't seen Lockwood and Co. I don't think I've heard of that one. Thank you, Morgan. Yeah, I'm using OBS right now, and I cannot for the life of me get like half the things to work on this program. Every time I open it, my Spotify box is broken. None of the links that I have work. I swear to God, chat was working the last time I streamed. I didn't change anything, so I have no idea why it's not working now. The pop-ups for all of my tip stuff in Streamlabs is also broken. And I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. I follow the tutorials and everything, and it still doesn't work. The chat box is, I think, just a, I think it's a web link. Yeah, it's supposed to be a web link, and it's like, you know, supposed to import the chat messages, but for some reason it doesn't work, and they're all semicolons. I think I forgot what my friend uses to stream on. I gotta go message. Okay. Gotta save my work. I look back at my own fan work with a little bit of cringe because I used to be a huge ship person, and a lot of like teenage girl shenanigans. And my bird's whistling at me. Streaming elements. Never heard about that. I think maybe, I'm not sure. There's so many stream programs right now. I feel like an old lady. It's like, I don't know what any of these whippersnappers used to stream for. It's kind of crazy because, like, not too long ago, it would just be like you just pull up your camera, you record your shitty audio, and then now it'd be you streaming, but now you have to like have a VTuber and all of these notifications and boxes and layouts and stuff. Ships are what invests me in shows and movies. I still do it. I just don't publicly do it anymore. I do it quietly with my friends. But yeah, it's weird because I am an asexual and a romantic, but when it comes to like fictional romances, I'm like all for it. So all of my properties have romances, including Helvin. Helvin is purely more of a romance story. Poly romance, actually. So having some new territory with that one. Oh yeah, I collect a ton of art books. I haven't collected any in recent years. Inspiration for character designs. So some of the art books that I have for character work is, you know, the Soul Eater art books. Soul Eater has always been a huge inspiration for me when it comes to general design and wackiness. Correct me if I pronounce this wrong. Jamie Hewlett. He's a guy who designs the Gorillaz characters. I fucking love the character designs for Gorillaz, and I use them a lot for my work. The Art of Alice, Madness Returns, and a Persona 5 art book. And I would have also collected some art books from Jan Yoshihiro, the one who makes, you know, Kill la Kill behind the artwork of Kill la Kill and like My Little Witch Academia. Those art books are very expensive, so I don't have those. But those are also huge inspirations for me. Studio Trigger and the way they design art, character designs. Hi Gladys. I'm happy for your dinner with wife. Stream's going good. I just realized that my chat box was off screen, so I didn't realize I was actually getting messages. So, you know, that was a little bit silly of me. My recent collection I've been looking for gacha games for inspo when it comes to POV character designs. Yeah, Genshin Impact has that down to a science, honestly. They have really good character designs, very appealing character designs, which is kind of the whole point. So, so that's how they get you. You know, you're pretty boys, pretty boy, and pretty girls. So, what was the recent collection you collected? Oh, I'm collecting, like, if you mean like what manga I'm collecting Hanako-san, the toilet-bound ghost. This is what I mean, that if you do fan content, it doesn't really work if you like niche shit, because that's a very niche anime / manga, and I love that one. It's the only anime that I'm actually into at the moment for the last couple years, honestly. And I did put a U, so I wasn't muted, but I was just did not realize people were talking to me. Awesome. I love my fellow furry artists, you know. I have fond memories with furry people. They have been very nice to me. And every now and then I do draw, I wouldn't call it furry art, but maybe anthropomorphic characters would be best, and monsters and that kind of stuff. I have nothing against any furries. I think they're cool, and I think the suits are nice. They look pretty cool, and that's a lot of hard work that goes into making them. Always felt weird doing ship art myself. Most of the time I felt people ship characters if they look good, but sometimes their personalities clash and makes me feel less engaged. That is true, especially if you were into, you know, like yaoi fandoms and stuff like that. You know, we only ship characters because they look hot and that's it. Sometimes the ships that I would ship would be based on personality, but more the opposites would collide. I was a huge fan of opposites colliding, so that was my trope, and I honestly always shipped not the main couple, I guess, like not the main ship, but like the second ship. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I never did the more obvious ship. I always did the one where it's just like, oh, they looked at each other once, they must be in love. I feel like as attraction with art style, at least I've seen a lot of cosplays of characters from the manga. The art style is one of the reasons why it intrigued me. I'm not a huge fan of like the cutesy style, but the actual artwork that the artist is able to complete, like their art books, the self-shaded work, and the way that they were able to mimic that in the anime was beautiful. It looks like a painting. And I have not seen that recently. Usually anime has a very bland art style right now. For the past maybe decade, they've all just copied each other. To see something new was very refreshing. Yeah, that's my cockatiel. He is singing. I don't know if he wants my attention or not. Hold on. Hello, you want to come up? Hi. Come on. There you go. Hi, buddy. Yeah, no face camera. But I have a bird on my shoulder. He doesn't like my headset very much, though. He keeps poking at it. Okay. I've been looking at gachas like Genshin, Cookie Run, and Arc Knights. The whole point is that it's like you, and then you want them. Yeah, they would be a pretty good reference for character design. Cookie Run, I'm not sure about that one because you know they're literally cookies. So, but all of the gacha games, they pretty much understand how to make good, appealing character design. more for aesthetic purposes, not so much for a story. So those are two different type of character designs logic, I guess, because you can make a character, each character design has to have like a purpose, and some are just for appearance / marketing, and some are for story purposes. So you got to make a character for each sort of project that you're working on. I haven't seen too much of Cookie Run, except sometimes what TikTok would showed me. I assume the color palettes are nice. Thank you. He is quiet when he wants to be. He usually sings when he's in his cage, but when I let him out, he doesn't really sing anymore. He just sings to get my attention, to get him on my shoulder. If I had to pick my favorite character designer, it would definitely be for Kill la Kill. I love the way that they are able to exaggerate proportions to reflect the character behind them, and sort of mesh together Western concepts of character design with Japanese concepts of character design to make something that is unique but still has like an anime appearance, because I find a lot of animes to have unfortunately lackluster character designs, boring, or they all just kind of look the same. How did I come up? Let's see. My philosophy of character design is color, theme, and shape language. So I always think that getting many sources for inspo is always good. Yep, that's definitely correct. The more inspiration that you can get, the better. You're least likely to end up with more of a rehash or copy if you source your references from a lot of different places. How did you come up with the colors for this piece? So this one was actually a tricky one. I don't think I have the references on me right now, but basically I just wanted, I mean, the characters are already colored previously. They're already designed before this work. I wanted to have sort of a dark church appearance, and then with a yellow glowing reddish tint to it. So we started out with many different phases. So first we started off with this, and then after that I did an underpainting of trying to darken everything. This was cleaning that up so let's see. So the reason why I didn't go with this one is because there was too many clashing colors. So she has this neon blue, but then having the windows have this neon blue as well creates a difficult area for the viewer to focus. So I knocked those down and made everything darker, highlighted the red, and made the windows all unilaterally yellowish and glowing, and trying to put the focus in the center of the image. Clean that up a bit. Separate all the colors. This is after doing some color correction, so I brought in some more blue, desaturated some stuff, try to focus again right in the center. That's where the view, the audience should see. Mainly it's like the center of the image. This was some more color balancing, putting in some more contrast and stuff. And then after that, after I had this finished, then it's time for the blending. So I blended everything out, and that sort of muddies the image. So as you can see, this is like very messy, but all the brush strokes and colors are very nice looking. So I blended just to make it cleaner, but what I'm doing now is adding in all of those brush strokes again. So no brush strokes, you see, bland, muddy, no texture. Now there's texture and brush strokes. So that's part of this very tedious painting process, is basically starting rough, blending everything out, and then redoing all the brush strokes again to be nice and clean. Yeah, no problem. These paintings always take so much work, and there's a lot of thought process that goes into them. I like going through the different layers because it's interesting to see a painting develop over each different layer, and this is not even close to being done. So I have like a little step thing in the corner. Whoop. So I need to do the flats, shading, blending. The red means I finished it. Green is where we at. After I reshade everything, I have to add in the textures. I have some texture like stuff right here, like grain. And then I have to paint over the lines, add some lighting, any sort of shadows. So she needs a shadow under her. I need to add like the bloody river that follows her, the fire flames here. And then only then will the actual artwork be finishing. Thank you for chilling with me. Go enjoy your meal. Thank you for coming. Yeah, I like enjoying talking about the process behind my pieces. I just don't have too much opportunity to do it that often. And I don't really make tutorials anymore, so whenever people come and ask me about like, hey, how'd you do this thing? And I'm like, oh, this is how you do that thing. I don't know if you've seen my Tumblr recently, but I've been posting some easy tutorials, explanations for some of my shape theory and character design, colors and stuff. I hope they helped someone. When I was a wee bab, would have been grateful if someone told me that character design should be thought about in pie charts or percentages of how much colors should take over dominance of other colors. That would have helped. Yeah, go for it. I don't advertise my asks on my blog too often, but yeah, I'm now accepting asks about pretty much anything, like tips, how I come up with projects, development work behind projects, all that stuff. I'll answer the question whenever I get to it, but yeah. You biting my microphone? Oh, you want pets? So the reason I tell this story every time someone brings up, what are you doing? Sorry, my bird flapped me in my face. Every time someone brings up furries, because the reason why I'm so fond of them, and it's just because of this one particular experience. A long time ago, I ended up losing my original Pokemon games, like Soul Silver and Black. They fell out of my purse. I was very sad. And so I posted on Tumblr being like, I'm sad, I lost my original Pokemon. I had like my original team on there, and my shiny Lucario that I bred from scratch on there. So I was very sad, because those games were very expensive at the time to like rebuy them. And I think I was in college or in high school, I don't remember. I think it was in college. And so I could not just like rebuy them. And a random fan came, and they were like, hey, so I have Soul Silver and Black. I was gonna like, just donate them or, sell them to like a random shop. But if you want, I'll send them to you for free. And I'm like, really? That's awesome. Like, kind stranger on the internet. And they did. They sent me Pokemon Soul Silver in the box and Black for free. It's a little note. And I thought that was super freaking cool. I never heard from them again, unfortunately. I would have liked to thank them. But they were that's really kind. And it was someone who judging from what they enjoyed, was a part of the furry community, or enjoyed anthropomorphic characters at least. And so because of that, I'm like, listen, we all like our things, but furries have only ever been nice to me, so I'm not gonna judge them for like wearing costumes and stuff. Yeah, it was amazing. I think they were from Oregon or something. It was wild. I have never experienced an act of kindness like that from a stranger on the internet. Oh, almost done with the centerpiece. And then all I have to do is finish the glass stain work. Which is gonna take a while. So close to being done with this player. Please. I originally wasn't going to stream today, and I wasn't going to work on this, but it's been itching at me to just try to get this finished as soon as possible so I can move on to the other stuff I have to do for Helvin, because it's a lot. Thanks, Mariah. Because the cover is just the first step. I want to do all of the not all of the character designs, I shouldn't say that. Some character designs for my portfolio. I want to do some environmental designs for the portfolio as well, and then move on to what I actually want to do, which is an animation for it, because I want to work on my animation skills. But before that, I have to make sure I have all of the visual material finished. So a lot of prep work. And since I like consistency, and since all of my projects have covers, Helvin obviously needs a cover too. So here I am doing a very long illustration. I think the only other cover that took me this long or more was Ska Kids. The Ska Kids cover, which I'm still quite fond of, took me so freaking long to do. And I was in college at the time, so I had more time for that kind of work, but Jesus, so much time. I just remember having the worst hand pains ever because I did not properly manage my time correctly and did not manage my body well. So I don't recommend that. I'm avoiding the responsibility by watching you draw. It's only because I couldn't go out today because I'm in Texas and we had like the winter storm pass us and a lot of damage has been done because of it, so I can't go out yet. Who like Technicolor antro animals? That is a very accurate description of the furry community. Thanks. Yeah, we had an ice storm, and it hit Austin, where I'm from, pretty bad. And so we have a lot of damage from trees onto vehicles, onto roads, and including my vehicle. So that kind of sucks. It wasn't too bad though. Could have been a lot worse. I just got a crack in my windshield. I think I can fix that with some resin. But yeah, some people weren't so lucky, and a bunch of the trees here just fell over because Austin is full of trees. And since I've never experienced anything like this, and I assume none of the other Texans have. So because of that, a lot of people just kept their vehicles under trees, and the trees have come back for vengeance and have destroyed a ton of property. Yeah, next time avoid the trees. I get that for now. I did not know that the trees would snap in half due to the weight of the ice on them. The South is getting more snow than New England this year. That is crazy. It's also crazy how late it is. Like, Christmas was hot, and then this random week in the middle of, I don't know, spring. I don't really count this as winter, or in early spring. It's like blizzard all of a sudden. It was like that last year too, and that's freaking weird to me. I'm just like, as a Texan who has never had a winter, because it's not cold here at all, suddenly getting ice storms, it's crazy. And of course all the power outages due to not being built for this kind of stuff. Global warming at its finest. Listen, I don't even blame the trees for getting revenge. I'm sure they deserve revenge on us for everything that we've done to them. But did it have to be my car though? I didn't do nothing to the trees. It was kind of funny because there was a bunch of cars next to me, and it was just my car. What are you doing? What are you pecking at? You can't peck at the microphone. Oh, that's awesome. Or not awesome, depending on how you view Texas. Trees can be bit with the wrong people. My faith in humanity was restored because while I was struggling, I'm a petite person. I'm very small and anemic, basically. So there's no way I could have lifted this tree branch off my freaking car. And so some people saw me struggling, and they decided to help me in this freezing cold. It was very nice. What I was gonna say before that is, like, yeah, I'm a very private person, so I don't really share too much about myself. Another thing I found weird with like audience in general. What are you doing? He keeps flapping his wings to show dominance against my headphones or something. Here, what do you want? Where do you want to go? You want to draw? He sometimes likes drawing with me, like pecking at my screen. You're such a good artist. I think he just likes the pretty colors. You can't attack my pen. What are you doing? Why are you high alert? His little mohawk is up, so he's just like frightened for some reason over this very particular dark circle that I'm drawing right now. Right now you're picking at my cuticles. No, don't bite my nail. You want to go to your playground? Up, up. Up. Good boy. Down. Good. He's got good taste. I let him draw or peck at my phone or iPad sometimes. Itchy. But yeah, that was the winter storm, and also like our work being based. I work from home this week due to all of the power outages and not being safe to drive on roads because of the ice. And our studio was out of power for basically all of yesterday, and so that was kind of funny. Thank you. I have traveled to other states, and I'm sorry if anyone lives in these states. I traveled, I think it was last year, to New Mexico, Nevada, and California. I despite the problems we have, I enjoy being around the wide open area of Texas. Like, I like the environment, the actual landscaping of Texas. I wish it was colder. I freaking hate the summers here, for sure. But the wide open area and different biomes here is interesting and nice. You can like walk to one area, have it to be a forest, walk to the other, it's a swamp or the ocean, and the other one is like a desert. Texas is Minecraft. That is a good way to explain it. Like, over down here in Austin, we didn't really get snow, but we got ice. But then up in Dallas, they were snowed in, and that's wild. You could just go up, up the state. You got ice storms, and then down south where my parents live, because I live in the middle of Texas. Austin's kind of like in the middle-ish, and then down south is where my parents live, 6 hours south from us, towards the Mexican border. They weren't experiencing any cold whatsoever. It was not cold at all. They said it was like in the 90s. Okay, where is he? Okay. And so do I. It is really crazy. Like that time that it was snowed in Austin, or Central Texas last year. We were snowed in, That was not like funsies. Texas was going through a very bad time because of the power grid failing and it being really freaking cold. My parents were completely fine and they didn't experience any issues, even though like 6 hours up and then it was like all hell broke loose. And then if you went more up, the more north you went, like up to Dallas, that's when you got the really bad stuff. Frozen fish tanks kind of stuff. You bit me. What are you looking at me for? Oh, now you want to come crawling back. You're so mean. The summers are horrible. Yeah, I usually just stay inside and blast the air conditioner, but even the air conditioner, because I have a shitty apartment, has trouble keeping up with the summer heat, which is not fun, but the electric bill is definitely not fun. But I don't think I would enjoy shoveling snow either. That shit sounds like a nightmare. What are you doing? Are you bored? Is that why you keep pecking at me? Ow, my nail starts. But yeah, I need to be on it more to stream more often. Fridays are basically the only day I can stream, but I haven't been doing it just because I'm not, as you can tell, probably not a super socially inept person. I get like every freaking artist out there, socially anxious. So streaming is a little bit nerve-wracking sometimes, and I'm not a streamer in the sense that I don't have an audience who watches me stream, so I still feel like I'm preaching to no one sometimes, and so it can be kind of weird to stream, which I know is normal. I feel like that's how streamers build up their fan base or their watch community, is by streaming to the void. Oh, that's awesome that you still had power. Me and my roommate had power, luckily as well, because I think we're on a hospital power grid or something like that. We're near a hospital, so literally everyone around us was without power, but we were fine. We ran out of water though for a couple days. Yeah, we ran out of water for... It's so cute. What are you doing? Where do you want to go? Want pets? Oh, you want to play with my string. Look. There you go. Play with the string. Yeah, I was out of water for... I think it was 3 days. It was horrible. 3 to 4 days. I don't remember, but it was really bad. Definitely had like I had put baby powder or cornstarch in my hair just to keep myself from washing my hair, because you know, it was cold and people were stinky. It was just me and my roommate. Luckily my parents were fine down south, but yeah, we ran out of water for a couple of days and had to deal with that. At some point there were 15 to 18 people in our apartment. Wow, that's a lot. Well, you are very generous to let people into your apartment. Unfortunately, don't live in the best of areas, so I didn't do that personally for myself. But it seems like our apartment complex was fine. It was mostly just the water issues that we were having. So me and my roommate prepared in advance. We filled up the bathtubs with water, or like these big tubs with water, and we used that to wash our hands and boil stuff. And we always keep like crates of drinkable water around, so we didn't have to worry too much about that. But yeah, it was mostly just keeping things clean and keeping ourselves clean that was difficult. Definitely, you know, smelly, stale hair, and it's unfortunate. It was gross. It sucked, but at least we had power on, so we could warm up the water. We boiled it the old-fashioned way and took baths that way. Yeah, if we didn't, we would have been screwed. Oh. Well, thank you for enjoying my streams. If you want to ever see my future streams, they will probably always be on a Friday. Time? I'm not too sure. Usually I go out in the mornings. Probably around in the evening is when I would stream. Or in the afternoon. Yeah, that's exactly what we did. Not the pool water. Because chlorine, and also our pool water here is really gross. But we filled up plastic storage tubs with water and used that for baths. And we also rationed it between ourselves. All things considered, we were one of the more lucky people during that whole fiasco. Some other people had it really bad. We were fully stocked with groceries and perishables and non-perishable as well, and water, so we weren't too worried if for the eventual power outage or water outage. Ah, damn. There you go. So these are all supposed to be covers of songs, just lo-fi mixes of them. So if you recognize a song, it's probably because it exists out there. That would be me compared to my roommate. My roommate, a little bit more anxiety inducing or skittish, I guess. So I was just like, I'm not a survivalist or anything like that. I'm just more level-headed, and I grew up around my mother is very prepared person. I would describe her as. My mom is always prepared for all hell to break loose, and because of that, I also know how to deal with high stress situations. So very much I'm just like, keep calm, everything's gonna be all right, and it's gonna be fine. And as long as we have the necessities and think in a logical manner, it's when people start to panic when things can get worse and spiral. Drink some water. Oh, off the topic of doom and gloom, if you want another random art tip or painting tip, don't zoom in so much when you try to draw. It's a simple one, but it can save you some time and keep you on track of the general look of your drawing. So I'm pretty much painting at a maximum of 100%, so this is like the image at its full resolution. I don't do this or paint super close because no one's really going to see that at the end of the day. That's awesome. It's really nice of you. Kudos. Yeah, it's a lot harder to keep that rule when you have an iPad because you zoom in with your fingertips. My fingers are cold. Why are you trying to bite my pen? My pen never did anything to you. Here, bite this string. See, the string is evil. The evil string. That was a tip I learned more from professionals. Zooming in very closely to your work to work on very fine details can be nice if you're not on time-sensitive material, but if you are, then it's sort of a waste of time because most people are not going to be able to see those details, and you're working at a resolution that is too big. Yeah, what are you doing? A good example of this is that I follow this artist. I really like her work. I don't remember her name at the moment, but she worked on she was hired to do like a visual novel. I love her work for a visual novel, but she was lamenting because the visual novel was printed at sort of a small size, and so she had so much work and detail put into these illustrations that physically could not be seen because she didn't draw it at the right resolution, if that makes sense. Like, she had such small little details that she did not have to spend so much time on in the end of the day because it was never going to be printed at a big enough resolution for anyone to see those details. So it was kind of a waste of time for her, and that's something that she learned not to do in the future. And the same thing could be applied for... I need to put a cover on my keyboard so my bird doesn't poop on my keyboard. There you go. Don't poop on my keyboard. Okay. Yeah, it's a small tip that like often goes underlooked, but it's so helpful to save just time doing unnecessary amount of work. If you're gonna be posting something small, you gotta look at the big picture. Really small little details are they're not gonna show up when you print it, and they're not gonna show up when people are viewing the image. So there's no reason to put that much effort into like every pixel of the work. Let me check the status of the stream. Looks like we're having good connection, so it might be just in some internet stuff. Excuse me. But I'm almost about to end the stream. I'm just gonna finish this middle piece while my bird attacks my zipper, my jacket. I guess the other painting tip I could give, I don't have many, I don't really consider myself a painter, is that try not to blend everything out That's why I'm adding all these brush strokes back in by hand, and I'm not gonna blend them. I'm just gonna leave them as is, because adding some harsher lines to your drawing could give it some nice contrast and texture. If you blend everything out, then it's gonna be a lot harder to add definition to your work, and it's just gonna look kind of washed out and muddy. So make sure you have some harsh lines in there. It won't hurt you. I'm sure there's a faster way than doing one brush stroke at a time. I'm just not a huge fan of textured brushes because I have a hard time controlling where the texture is going to land, so I'd rather just add it by hand, which takes a lot more time, but you know, whatever works for you. Yeah, same. I used to put I was doing that. I was catching myself doing that for this piece. I'm like, stop it. No one's really going to see a little pixel in the corner of the image. It's not going to make a difference, and it's just a waste of time. So sprites. I used to do some design work for sprite work actually. If you're using images that are going to be resized and whatnot, then yeah, you kind of have to draw them at like a big resolution so they can actually be sized and not be a blurry mess. So you always have to take into account, since you're working digitally, the math behind your work, so it can be used correctly where you need it to be used for. That's when you start using vectors and whatnot. Did I finish this? Well, I still need to finish the gas painting, but I don't know. I guess I'll do that on Sunday. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, we got Google Fiber in our apartment, so we used to have Time Warner before that, and I hate Time Warner, but once we got Google Fiber, everything was all good, as much as the corporate overlord will allow it. Let's see, am I missing anything from this section? Where are you going? You hungry? How do I analyze other people's works to learn new techniques? I think there's two ways or two steps to that. The first step is to copy. Yeah, you can't really learn unless you can copy and retrace your steps, so I would copy what they're doing, and some people even go as extreme to like recreate the illustration or painting in sort of like a fast way manner to learn about, I don't know, colors, line work, whatever they're trying to learn, and just focus on that element of the artist that they're trying to learn from. And then once you do that, make your own piece using that technique, and you can rinse and repeat however many times you want until you learn or master what you're trying to master. Is it this creep? I think this is creep. Yes, I was right. Yeah, there's some like cheats to it nowadays with resizing your work if you need it on a quick fly. But if you're doing anything for a client and stuff, then it kind of has to be right the first time, or you're in very hot water. So it's a lot. It's better for you if you just learn from the get-go how to what's the resolution to make your work at, depending on what project you're doing. Okay, did a lot of progress. I'm just doing some edits to what I can see that stand out to me. Yeah, no worries. I love giving other artists advice, young artists. Learn from my experiences. I have been through a lot. And I still have a long way to go. I'm not even anywhere near where I want to be. Okay, let's see. Oh, I didn't. Okay, this window needs to be done. Oh, what happened there? Did you press my button? No, leave my microphone alone. You're not allowed to eat that. Okay, just gonna finish this window, and I think that'll be done. Why? Why are you doing this? Your boredom is not my fault. I have so many toys for him, and he hasn't touched them because he doesn't understand what a toy is yet. So he just comes and like bothers me. He chews on my ears and my headphone and my jacket zipper and buttons, even though I buy him very expensive toys. Stop pressing my keyboard. Here, move this way. hope to finish this next week. That'd be freaking fantastic. Been working on this for like a month. 2 months maybe, probably at this point. Because I did the sketch back in December. Yeah, I was going through a lot, so I was switching jobs and stuff and going through some mental health issues. So I didn't have time to like work on it as I'm dedicated now. Now I work on it every day for like 2 hours, chipping away at it. Are you going back to painting? The pretty colors? Wow. Stop. I don't even know what button you're pressing. I bet it's my tab button. He's a bit of a fatty, so he's heavy and he's pressing on the covering of my keyboard. Up, up! Come on. There, get on top. He's tech savvy. Yeah, he's reminding me to look at the whole image, you know. Thank you, Mochi. His name is Mochi. I did not mention that earlier, but yeah, his name is Mochi. He's a dusty little powder ball. I've had him for, I think, a month now. He's very cuddly for a new bird and very extremely attached. He prefers humans over his own kind. He was bullied from his siblings. He's lucky I work from home 2 days out of the week and I can be around with him due to my schedule the mornings because I work at night or in the evenings/night. No, don't bite that. That's bad. Don't bite that. Don't give me your little foot. He tried to bite my Wacom cable. You're so puffy. Come on. Now you're just gonna poop on my tablet, and that's great. You're just being so monstrous right now. If I had a camera, I would just point it at him. I should just get a bird cam. I'm trying to finish this, and you're over here trying to destroy my property. Not yet, but I think this one... I usually don't let him stand on my electronics because he poops on them or bites them. And he, you know, little cockatiel beaks are pretty strong and they can crack a screen. But he seems very interested in what I'm doing right now, so I'll let him, for this occasion, peck at my screen. Are you bored? Okay, cool, you're bored. Yeah, I'm about to head out anyway, so it's fine. Thank you for staying, and thank you for everything. It's great. I'll make sure to stream more often when I can. I like talking to people in my audience. Wish I could do it more often and not be so awkward about it. I just gotta fix. We're all awkward. That does make me feel better. Alright, goodbye. Thanks for dropping by. Just gonna finish up these windows here. And then I can go hang out with my friends. Okay. Any hiccups? I'll do that cross later. All right. Thanks for coming. This is probably the end as well. Final details because I have OCD, but other than that, yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for the conversations. Bye bye, Mariah. See, yeah, I think that's pretty good. Stop hitting me. I'm being so nice to you and you slap me in the face with your wing. You're so rude. Yeah, make sure to keep up in there. Almost done. All right. Thanks everybody for coming, watching the stream. Went on way longer than I thought it did. Have a good day.